Let's go Broncos! Something absolutely insane is happening behind the scenes in Denver, and believe me, Broncos fans, you're going to want to know every second of it. This isn't just another game week. What just happened could completely change the Broncos' path to the Super Bowl. A shocking play by Jim Harbaugh threw the AFC playoff landscape into chaos, and guess who's now on top of the mountain? That's right, the Denver Broncos. But don't get too comfortable, because the real story isn't just about the top seed in the conference. It's about why it happened, what it means for Sean Payton's next move, and the dangerous trap that may be lurking. So, before we dive into all of that, hit the like button if you're a die-hard Broncos fan, and if you believe in this team's chances at the Super Bowl, leave a comment below saying, "Go Broncos!" It's not over yet. Alright, let's go. Now, here's the deal. The Denver Broncos are officially the #1 seed in the AFC, and you're not dreaming. It's real, and we've got Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers to thank for handing Sean Payton the ultimate birthday gift, resting Justin Herbert in the final regular season game. That move didn't just open the door, it kicked it wide open for Denver to claim the 1 seed and a first-round bye. A playoff bye is always huge, but in today's NFL with 7 teams in each conference, it's absolutely golden. Only 1 team per conference gets that by now, and since the change in 2020, 5 out of 10 #1 seeds have made the Super Bowl. Compare that to all other playoff teams combined, also 5. You do the math, and this advantage gets even bigger when you factor in the cold, high-altitude January conditions at Mile High. As Adam Troutman pointed out, if a warm-weather team like the Jaguars comes to Denver in January, it's going to be brutal for them. It's going to be loud, it's going to be cold, and we've seen in the past how much of a game-changer the Denver crowd can be. Remember Tom Brady's visit during that 2015 playoff run? The Broncos crowd carried a fading Peyton Manning over the Patriots and straight into Super Bowl 50. History could repeat itself. So how did this all unfold? Justin Herbert took a beating from the Texans, his left hand broken, thrown around like a rag doll. Harbaugh saw enough. He's not taking any more chances, not with the playoffs around the corner. And it's not just Herbert, other Chargers starters like Derwin James, Ladd Menenke, and Keenan Allen are also sitting. This means the Broncos are likely facing Trey Lance and what's essentially a Chargers B team. That sounds like a dream scenario, or does it? Let's be honest, this has all the makings of a classic trap game. If Denver comes in overconfident, thinking it's just a scrimmage, that could be dangerous. Trey Lance might not be Herbert, but he's still a first-round pick who flashed serious potential in the preseason. And this is still a division rivalry, guys playing for their jobs, trying to make a statement. You can't underestimate that kind of motivation. Here's another wrinkle. Since December 21st, the Broncos haven't faced a starting NFL quarterback. They played backups in both the Chiefs and Chargers games, then they'll have a bye week. That's 29 days without playing a real starter before the divisional round. That kind of downtime can kill momentum. You don't want to go into a playoff slugfest without having been truly tested for almost a month. And imagine the fallout if Denver loses to the Chargers' backups. The narrative would flip in an instant. Instead of being the toast of the AFC, people would say the Broncos aren't ready, that the bye week made them soft, that Sean Payton can't keep the team focused. He knows this. That's why he's not taking any chances. Harbaugh has a history here, too. A few seasons ago, the Chargers were locked into the 5 seed and still played their starters. The result? Star WR Mike Williams broke his back and hasn't been the same since. They were eliminated in the next round. Harbaugh remembers. This time, he's choosing health over pride. But there's a twist in all this. If the Colts upset the Texans, unlikely, but this is the NFL, it could shift the playoff seeding and tempt Harbaugh to change course at the last second. You never know with this guy. He might try to outsmart the world and roll Herbert out anyway. That's why Sean Payton has to prep for everything. Expect the unexpected. Now, let's talk playoff matchups. If things hold, the Broncos' divisional round opponent could be the Bills if they beat the Jaguars. If the Jags pull it off, we could be hosting the Texans. Either way, it's a winnable game in front of a roaring mile-high crowd. And here's the spooky part. If Denver beats the Chargers, then beats the Steelers, and finally takes down the Patriots in the AFC Championship, it's the exact same script as our run to Super Bowl 50. Even the final would be in the same stadium. That's football fate staring us in the face. The team isn't satisfied with just winning the AFC West. Sean Payton isn't letting this group celebrate early. The hats and shirts were handed out, but he made it clear this is only step 1 in a 3-step mission. He even joked that the championship gear was kind of ugly. Adam Troutman echoed the mood, put it in a memorabilia box and move on. That's the championship mindset you want to see. Compare that to the Patriots, who are already posting selfies and celebrating their division title. Meanwhile, Denver is laser-focused. That focus is going to be tested now. The players have to show up and crush this Chargers B team, not just for the win, but to prove they're truly ready to run through the playoffs. Because here's where things really start to get fascinating. If Sean Payton can keep this team locked in and avoid the mental slip-up that often comes with playing against backups, the Broncos are about to walk into the most favorable playoff path they've had since 2015. But there's a fine line between rest and rust, and that's where Payton's experience becomes critical. Let's break it down even further. With a first round bye already secured, Denver won't see playoff action until January 17th. That means close to a month without facing a high-caliber quarterback. You've got to wonder, what kind of intensity will this team be able to maintain during that stretch? The backups Denver has been facing don't simulate the pressure and decision-making of playoff football. It's one thing to beat a second-string Chargers squad. It's another to stand across from Josh Allen or C.J. Stroud and keep your composure with a trip to the AFC Championship on the line. But let's not underestimate what this Denver defense has accomplished. The numbers speak for themselves. The Broncos' pass rush win rate is nearing 50%, almost double that of the Texans, who still managed to put Herbert on his back nearly every other snap. That makes this decision from Harbaugh even more understandable. He saw the writing on the wall. Denver's defense isn't just good, it's terrifying. You don't throw your franchise QB into that kind of buzzsaw right before the playoffs. You'd have to be out of your mind. And speaking of quarterbacks, don't forget that Trey Lance brings a different kind of threat than Herbert. While he may not be the polished passer Herbert is, his mobility adds a dimension that Denver will have to prepare for. It only takes one busted coverage or missed contain to let a guy like Lance break a game open. Payton will absolutely have his defense keyed into that. Offensively, this game is a massive opportunity for Denver to sharpen its tools and dominate early. You want to see tempo. You want to see execution. Most of all, you want to see the starters playing like it's a playoff game. Because from here on out, it is. Even if the Chargers aren't playing their A team, Denver needs to bring theirs. Not just to win, but to send a message to every team in the AFC. If you come to Mile High, you're not walking out with a win. And speaking of Mile High, the environment is going to be electric. Playoff energy is already in the air. Fans remember what it felt like the last time the Broncos were this close. There's a belief again. There's confidence. This isn't the underdog squad that's happy just to be here. Sean Payton didn't come to Denver to rebuild slowly. He came to win, and he's moving with urgency. His reaction to clinching the AFC West said it all. No celebration, no parades, just a mission that's only a third of the way complete. You better believe that mindset is contagious inside that locker room. We've also got to talk about the rest of the bracket and how the chips could fall. If the Chargers beat the Patriots, as expected, Denver's first playoff opponent will likely be a familiar foe. And if it's the Chargers again, that means a third meeting in one season against a team that just tried to play mind games by resting their stars. That matchup wouldn't just be about winning, it'd be personal. The kind of rivalry that builds playoff legends. But if the Bills beat the Jaguars, and that's no guarantee, then it's Buffalo coming to town. And that would be an epic showdown. You'd have Josh Allen versus the Denver defense, with snow possibly falling, the altitude becoming a factor, and a stadium full of Broncos fans screaming their lungs out. That's the kind of game that defines legacies. And then there's the Texans. If they make it through, you've got C.J. Stroud in his first playoff run, going on the road against one of the most seasoned defensive units in the NFL. That's not a rookie-friendly environment. That's where dreams go to die. And if Denver wins that game, all roads point to the AFC Championship. And guess who could be waiting there? Yep, the New England Patriots. That's right, history could repeat itself with the same exact playoff order as Super Bowl 50. Beat the Chargers, beat the Steelers, beat the Patriots. And then, one more game, in the same exact stadium where the Broncos lifted the Lombardi Trophy a decade ago. That's the kind of narrative you couldn't script better if you tried. And yet, here we are, right on the edge of it becoming real. So Broncos country, the mission is clear. Dominate now, stay focused, and don't get caught sleeping. This is the time where championship teams separate themselves. Every detail matters. Every rep counts. You better believe Sean Payton is drilling that into these players every single day. There's no space for ego, no time for shortcuts. If Denver plays to its potential, there's not a team in the AFC they can't beat. And I'll leave you with this thought. If Denver handles business against the Chargers and heads into the divisional round rested, focused, and sharp, who in the AFC is going to stop them? Let me know your answer in the comments. And if you believe this is the start of something special, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stick around. There's a video on your screen right now breaking down Sean Payton's playoff experience and what it means for this team. I'll see you there. Go Broncos!